On the morning of June 25, 2026, Aryna Sabalenka opened Instagram expecting the familiar stream of fan reactions, tournament highlights, and brand updates that filled her feed each day. Then one post immediately caught her attention. The world number one, fresh from an extraordinary sunshine double campaign at Indian Wells and Miami, an achievement accomplished by only a select group of women in tennis history, had officially surpassed 5 million followers. The milestone made her the most followed active player in women's tennis, moving past Maria Sharapova and edging closer to Serena Williams' long-established social media presence. By every conventional measure, it was another sign of her growing dominance both on the court and in the public eye. Yet at that very moment, events unfolding in Linz, Austria, were revealing a completely different kind of influence. Reports estimated that nearly 45,000 Filipino supporters had flooded into a city of just 200,000 residents, not because of the tournament itself and not because the world number one was competing, but because they wanted to see 20-year-old Eala. Ranked 45th in the world and coming off a difficult setback that had pushed her down from number 29, Eala had somehow become the center of attention for tennis fans far beyond her ranking. As footage from the city spread online, Sabalenka witnessed scenes that were impossible to ignore: streets filled with Philippine flags, crowds chanting "Laban Alex" with remarkable energy, and a venue struggling to accommodate the overwhelming demand from fans who had traveled across regions and even continents. It was a striking reminder that tennis influence could not always be measured by trophies, rankings, or follower counts alone. Sometimes, its true power was reflected in the passion, loyalty, and emotional connection a player creates with people around the world. What those scenes revealed was something far deeper than numbers. True influence is built on connection, emotional impact, and the ability to unite people behind a shared sense of pride. While Sabalenka's massive online following reflected her status as one of the sport's biggest stars, Eala was generating a different kind of momentum, one that transformed an ordinary tournament week into a cultural moment for thousands of supporters. For perhaps the first time, the spotlight seemed to shift away from rankings and achievements and toward the powerful bond between a rising player and her fan base. At the same time, Sabalenka's popularity continued to soar. With millions of followers across social platforms, she remained one of the most recognizable figures in women's tennis. Her success was backed by years of elite performances, multiple Grand Slam titles, and countless victories against the world's best players. Beyond competition, her personal life, social media presence, and engaging content helped expand her reach far beyond the tennis community. Every update, video, and public appearance strengthened a global brand that few athletes could match. Yet the atmosphere in Austria highlighted something that could not be measured through digital metrics alone. Tens of thousands of Filipino fans converged on Linz for the Upper Austria Ladies Linz Open, creating an energy that quickly became the tournament's defining story. Hotels filled to capacity, local businesses experienced a surge in activity, and streets became a sea of Philippine flags as supporters gathered to cheer for Eala. Many had traveled from neighboring countries and major European cities, turning the event into a celebration that extended well beyond the stadium gates. Although the venue could accommodate only a limited number of spectators, the crowd surrounding it continued to grow, demonstrating a level of enthusiasm that few expected and making it clear that Eala's influence was reaching far beyond what traditional statistics could explain. The difference was impossible to ignore. On one side stood millions of social media followers, a powerful indicator of visibility and global reach. On the other stood tens of thousands of supporters who had traveled in person, filling streets, gathering outside venues, and creating an atmosphere that could be felt far beyond the tournament grounds. One reflected digital popularity, the other reflected a level of emotional investment that transformed spectators into a movement. Sabalenka's rapid growth across social platforms showcased one of the most successful personal brands in modern tennis. Her rise combined elite performances, strong public engagement, and a carefully developed connection with fans around the world. Every achievement, appearance, and online interaction reinforced her position among the sport's most recognizable figures. Yet even the most sophisticated marketing strategy could not fully explain what was happening around Eala. Her impact had evolved into something larger than tennis results alone. She had become a source of inspiration, a symbol of opportunity, and a point of pride for Filipino communities spread across multiple countries. That is why supporters continued to arrive in extraordinary numbers, turning a routine tournament stop into a celebration that extended far beyond the competition itself. The constant chants of "Laban Alex," the sea of flags, and the overwhelming energy surrounding every appearance reflected a connection that statistics alone could never measure. For many fans, watching Eala compete was about more than winning matches. It represented identity, representation, and the belief that someone from their community could succeed on one of the world's biggest sporting stages. While social media metrics highlight popularity, Eala's influence was visible in crowded airports, fully booked hotels, packed restaurants, and the remarkable atmosphere that followed her wherever she played. The excitement surrounding her matches often resembled the intensity of a major international team competition rather than a standard tour event. Experienced officials and commentators repeatedly pointed to the same observation: when athletes carry the hopes of an entire nation, the crowd responds differently. The support becomes louder, more personal, and far more emotional because fans are not simply cheering for an individual competitor, they are celebrating what that athlete represents. That is the difference many observers believe cannot be captured by follower counts or online engagement alone. Sabalenka has established herself as one of the sport's most accomplished champions, but Eala has become something broader, a figure whose influence extends beyond tennis courts and tournament results. For months, discussions about the so-called Eala Effect have surfaced across the tennis world, from increased ticket demand in major events to growing fan engagement wherever she appears. What unfolded in Austria only strengthened that narrative. Far from being a temporary trend, it highlighted the emergence of a player whose appeal reaches well beyond her ranking. At just 20 years old, Eala has attracted attention that many established stars spend entire careers trying to build. The question naturally follows: why are so many people willing to travel long distances, invest significant time and resources, and organize entire trips around watching a player still early in her professional journey? Industry experts point to a simple explanation: representation and connection. For millions of Filipinos both at home and abroad, Eala represents possibility. Her journey demonstrates that someone from Manila can compete on the biggest stages in world tennis and command international attention. Her story resonates with communities that understand sacrifice, perseverance, and determination, values that have long been associated with the experiences of Filipinos across the globe. With a population exceeding 115 million and a vast international diaspora spread across countless countries, the Philippines has long awaited a tennis figure capable of capturing worldwide attention. Eala has increasingly filled that role. Former professionals and analysts have repeatedly highlighted the scale of her impact. Many believe she is introducing entirely new audiences to the sport while inspiring a generation of young athletes who now see a clearer path toward international success. Others have noted that traditional ranking systems measure performance, but they cannot fully quantify cultural influence, national pride, or the ability to attract new fans. Veteran coach Paul Anacone recently emphasized another key element behind Eala's growing popularity, pointing not only to her talent but also to the warmth, authenticity, and positive energy she brings whenever she steps into the spotlight. Those qualities, combined with her achievements and relatability, have helped create a connection with supporters that continues to grow stronger with every tournament appearance. According to many longtime observers of the sport, one of the most fascinating aspects of tennis is the extraordinary passion that emerges when players from nations with limited tennis traditions break through on the global stage. That enthusiasm often creates an atmosphere that feels uniquely powerful and deeply personal. From Miami to Dubai and now Austria, the growing attention surrounding Eala has evolved beyond social media discussions and promotional campaigns. It has become a visible presence that follows her from tournament to tournament. Stadiums grow louder, crowds become larger, and every match develops an energy that extends far beyond the scoreline. Supporters are not simply attending events, they are participating in moments that reflect pride, representation, and a shared sense of identity. This kind of connection cannot be manufactured through rankings, sponsorships, or marketing strategies alone. It develops naturally through authenticity, relatability, and the emotional bond between an athlete and her supporters. That reality has become impossible to ignore in Linz, where the atmosphere surrounding Eala has transformed the tournament into one of the most talked about events on the calendar. Philippine flags fill the venue and surrounding streets, chants of "Laban Alex" echo throughout the city, and the excitement generated by her presence has become a defining storyline of the week. When reports emerged about the remarkable number of supporters traveling to Austria, Aryna Sabalenka responded with professionalism and respect, acknowledging the enthusiasm surrounding women's tennis and recognizing Eala's rapidly growing fan base. Publicly, her reaction reflected admiration for the sport's expanding audience. At the same time, the situation highlighted an intriguing contrast within modern tennis. Sabalenka has spent years establishing herself as one of the game's dominant figures, collecting major titles, reaching the top ranking, and building one of the strongest personal brands in the sport. Her achievements place her among the most successful players of her generation. Yet the attention surrounding Eala demonstrates that influence can take different forms. While rankings, trophies, and digital reach remain important measures of success, the extraordinary turnout of supporters in Austria illustrates another dimension of popularity, one driven by emotional connection, cultural significance, and the ability to inspire people to show up in person and become part of something larger than the match itself. The contrast has become one of the most discussed storylines in tennis. Analysts, commentators, and former players have increasingly debated how fan influence fits into a sport traditionally measured by rankings, titles, and achievements. During recent discussions, some observers questioned whether the extraordinary attention surrounding Eala could create additional pressure on established stars, while others argued that such popularity is simply part of the evolving landscape of modern sports. Regardless of where opinions fall, one thing is clear: tennis is no longer defined solely by results on the court. Athletes are now evaluated through a broader lens that includes visibility, engagement, cultural impact, and the ability to inspire communities around the world. For a competitor like Aryna Sabalenka, whose career has been built on relentless ambition and elite performance, this changing reality presents an entirely new challenge. Her accomplishments speak for themselves: major titles, the world #1 ranking, and a reputation as one of the most dominant players of her era. Yet the remarkable response generated by Eala demonstrates that influence can sometimes emerge from factors that statistics alone cannot explain. While traditional success remains the foundation of professional tennis, emotional connection and representation have become increasingly powerful forces within the sport. As Linz prepares to welcome Eala's latest appearance, the atmosphere surrounding the event reflects that shift. The numbers, rankings, trophies, and records tell one part of the story. The crowds gathering with flags, the passionate chants echoing throughout the venue, and the excitement surrounding every match tell another. Together, they reveal how modern tennis has evolved into something larger than competition alone. The energy sweeping through Linz is impossible to overlook. Every cheer from the stands, every show of support, and every moment of celebration reinforces a simple truth: tennis is not only a contest of skill and performance. It is also a platform where people connect through shared pride, inspiration, and belief. That emotional bond is what transforms athletes into symbols and tournaments into unforgettable moments, creating an impact that extends far beyond the final score. While Eala's record on clay remains a work in progress, her impact at this event extends far beyond match statistics. She arrives not only as a competitor seeking results but as a figure who has come to represent something larger for millions of supporters around the world. Other players may enter the tournament with greater experience on the surface, stronger resumes, or more established achievements, yet few carry the same emotional connection with their audience. In Linz, every point is played before fans who see their own aspirations reflected in her journey. The atmosphere surrounding her matches has transformed the tournament into something unique, where sporting competition intersects with national pride and cultural representation. For Eala, success will depend on the qualities required by high-level clay court tennis: patience, discipline, tactical intelligence, and mental strength. At the same time, she must navigate the extraordinary expectations that accompany such passionate support. She has often spoken about the responsibility she feels when representing her country, and that sense of responsibility has only grown as her profile continues to rise. With each match, the stakes extend beyond rankings and results. Strong performances could improve her standing and create new career milestones, but her influence is already being felt in ways that rankings cannot fully measure. Through her journey, she has inspired new fans, united communities, and demonstrated the power of representation within a global sport. As the design center Linz fills with chants, flags, and relentless energy, Eala steps onto the court carrying far more than competitive ambitions. She carries the hopes of supporters who see her success as a source of inspiration and possibility. Her story serves as a reminder that tennis is not only about trophies and statistics. It is also about the connections athletes build with people and the impact they leave beyond the scoreboard. In many ways, that is what makes the current moment so compelling. Traditional achievements and fan connection are not always measured by the same standards. Aryna Sabalenka has built an extraordinary legacy through championships, rankings, and elite performances. Eala, meanwhile, is demonstrating another dimension of influence, one rooted in community, representation, and the ability to bring people together through a shared belief in what is possible. The story unfolding around Eala highlights an increasingly important reality in modern tennis: success is no longer measured solely by rankings, titles, or statistical achievements. While Aryna Sabalenka has established herself among the sport's elite through remarkable accomplishments and consistent excellence, Eala's rise demonstrates the growing importance of cultural impact and emotional connection. What she has generated extends beyond traditional measures of popularity. Her presence has the ability to transform a tournament atmosphere, turning an ordinary event into a gathering fueled by pride, representation, and shared identity. For her supporters, every appearance carries significance beyond the final result. Each serve, rally, and display of determination becomes part of a larger story that resonates with people far beyond the stadium walls. While rankings track performance and social media measures reach, neither can fully capture the excitement of packed venues, passionate crowds, or the inspiration felt by young athletes who see new possibilities through her success. In that sense, Eala's influence operates on a different level, one built through connection rather than statistics alone. This evolution carries important implications